The 1% rule. The principle behind the 1% rule is really simple. We have to aim to improve our lives just by 1% every day. This could simply mean doing something slightly better, slightly longer, or slightly more efficiently than the day before. Atomic Habits, as James Clear mentions in his book. I was simply tired living a purposeless life. Every morning when I woke up, I used to feel, what the heck am I doing with my life? My name is Prithviraj, and did you know that 40% of our daily actions are actually habits? Stick around because we are diving into 7 life-changing habits that you need to start today. And trust me, my friend, this has really helped me change who I really am for the better. Let's address the elephant in this room. The common challenges people face while establishing new habits are often procrastination and lack of motivation. Overcoming these hurdles is crucial for personal growth and development. This is where the concept of tiny habits comes into play. Let's start with something that has really helped me become more productive. Start your day by writing down your goals. Simply take a notebook and write down what all you need to accomplish in that day. You can use any to-do list app for that matter. The main aspect that we need to take care of is planning. The thing is that if we don't know when we are doing something, chances are we won't really do it. So what I basically do is, after I wake up and I make my morning coffee, I simply note down what my 3 most important tasks are for that given day. I try to avoid using my phone in the mornings, hence I prefer writing them down on a physical paper planner. I'll leave a link of my planner in the description box below the like button in case you are interested in that. Our brain often functions off the cues it receives. Since I've been doing this small habit for a while now, I have been able to train my brain to get into that focus mode as soon as I sit down on my desk and open up my planner. So every morning when I open up my planner, my mindset kind of shifts and it really becomes easier for me to feel motivated to work on my goals for that day. Eat that frog, as they say. This simply means to get your most important tasks done the first thing in the morning instead of scheduling it in the later part of the day. Life is spontaneous, hence something or the other might arise in the evening which you might not have any control of. Hence the most ideal time to do something is to get it done in the first thing in the morning. That way we can ensure that our most important task for that day is at least done. Alright, so there are times when we don't really want to do a certain task, but we need to get them done. In such situations, it can be really hard to motivate ourselves to start working. Try out the 5-minute rule in such cases. Give yourself a day that you will have to only do that task for 5 minutes. Simply set a 5-minute timer and start working. You will often find out that you have been working for more than 5 minutes. But in case you don't feel like working on it even after 5 minutes, then it's totally fine to stop working. Else if you don't, your mind will think that you deceived it by not following the 5 minutes rule. Hence, it won't really have its value anymore. So it's totally fine to stop working after 5 minutes is done, that is. Any progress is better than no progress. It's really easy to keep working once we get started. Starting to work is the hardest part. Newton's third law applies to our life as well. An object at rest will always try to stay at rest. We have to reduce the friction of starting that task. For example, a couple of years back, I had to finish studying a very boring book on sound engineering. It was so boring that looking at the cover gave me a headache. But for me, it was really important that I finished reading that book. Hence, I actively worked on reducing the friction. What I did was, at the night, I simply opened my book to the exact page I was supposed to continue reading from, and then I kept it lying on my couch, just like that. So when I wake up in the morning, the book is right there in front of me, waiting for me to continue reading it. But what if I had to find the book from the bookshelf, take it out, find the exact page I had to read from? I simply would have skipped reading altogether. I reduced the friction of going through multiple steps last night, hence it became my obvious solution in the morning. That's the thing, my friend. We have to make our task the obvious solution. And we also have to make sure that it's really easy to get started doing that task. If you want to learn how to play the guitar, then simply keep it on your living room right in front of you. Out of sight, out of mind, as they say. But there is another way to get things done. This method is known as habit stacking. We simply have to stack a new habit that we want to implement with an existing habit. Let me explain how I use this. Sometimes I just like to watch my favorite shows on Netflix during midday. So what I basically did was, I kept my treadmill open and also kept my running shoes on top of it in order to reduce friction, as we previously discussed. But the cherry on top is that I kept my iPad on the treadmill as well. So I've been binge watching Suits a lot lately and I felt guilty because of that. Hence, I made this rule for myself. I can only watch Suits when I'm running on my treadmill. I can't really explain how much this small change has helped me. It's actually helped me in multiple ways. Firstly, it's helping me stay healthy by increasing the number of daily steps I have to take. Secondly, I don't have to feel guilty binge watching Netflix this way. I am able to watch my favorite shows without feeling any guilt. What more do I want? And also, please consider subscribing to my channel if you're finding this video helpful, and I'll keep creating videos on productivity, tech, and life. And speaking of treadmill, we must try and get at least some sort of physical activity daily. If getting a proper workout is not really possible for you, at least try and go for a walk. And if that's also not possible, in between your work sessions, simply get up from your desk and simply take a stroll around your room every hour. It's even better if you can get up a few stretches in. It's high time that we start taking our health more seriously. I finally have started working out and it's been like a month now, and I'll be honest, I really feel better. Earlier I used to feel like working out will make me even more tired, thus make me feel even more lazy. But you know what? It's actually the reverse. Human bodies are made for physical work, but we have replaced that with sitting in front of screens all day. We all know that eating healthy and working out is really important, yet we decide to ignore this aspect completely. Simple things make the difference, but we don't really like simple things, unfortunately, and that needs to change if we want to live fulfilling lives. Alright, this one is really harsh. Limiting social media. It's really important that we stop treating our brain as a dustbin. We consume all these useless stuff on Instagram which are never gonna help us in real lives. Well, I'm not really asking you to uninstall in TikTok or Instagram. We all know that's not really possible in the modern day. But instead of mindlessly scrolling through reels, you can use this to your advantage rather. Let me explain. Use social media as a reward. Like, you are allowed to scroll social media once you finish a task or something like that. In case you feel you might open up Instagram without realizing, then you can use app blockers. I myself use this app called AppBlock for that purpose. It prevented me from opening these apps subconsciously. But yeah, this small change has really helped me in that aspect. For example, this morning I had to write the script of a video. I simply set a timer and turned on airplane mode on my phone. When I was done scripting, I was allowed to do absolutely nothing and scroll through reels lying on my bed. Try and schedule time for social media usage. You don't have to uninstall them as long as you're mindful about it. Everything is important in our lives. We have to make time for everything. Avoiding distractions and time management is the key over here. And speaking of distractions, there's one aspect of our lives that we have totally forgot. Remember, when we were kids, all it took was a simple ice cream to instantly boost our mood and make us happy. I still like ice cream though. And now, no matter whatever nice happens, we don't really seem to care. We need to build that mindset again, finding joy in the small things. If we can get back this mindset, trust me, we will rarely become upset. Many people actually maintain a gratitude journal for this reason, as in, whenever something good happens to you, just write them down somewhere. A random stranger smiled at you, write them down. A dog came near you and you treated them with some biscuits and they became happy, write them down. You finally found your lost lighter, write them down. I need to find my lighter though, someone stole it maybe. But you get the point, right? Small things is what matters in our life. They can instantly improve our moods. Once we start finding all these little boosts of joy, we will really be able to improve our mental health over time. Recovery. I feel like this is the most important aspect. How we sleep changes everything. I know that feel. I used to struggle with sleep myself. I literally used to stay up in my bed for hours, but I couldn't really fall asleep. And then I ended up watching some random video on how to sleep at 3 a.m. in the morning. Been there, done that. Well, I did a few things to change that. Try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends, that is. This will actually help you regulate your body's internal clock. Even if you're unable to sleep, doesn't matter. Keep lying in your bed. But the most important one, wake up at your desired time. Please don't compensate your sleep by sleeping extra in the mornings. Force yourself up. I used to set my alarms on multiple devices. When it was 7:30 in the morning, all my devices used to ring together. My phone, my spare phone, my iPad, my 2 Amazon Echoes, as well as a physical alarm clock. I overdid it, I know, but yeah, I needed that. I felt like I was in a war zone literally, but forcing myself up at the correct time actually made me sleep deprived, and hence I was able to sleep on time that night. But one mistake you should avoid at any cost is that setting multiple alarms. If you set alarms like this, then I must say, it's even worse. Setting thousands of alarms are not gonna help us achieve that. This is because we sleep in cycles. The alarm clock basically wakes us up in the middle of a sleep cycle. Now, when we hit the snooze button and go back to sleep again, our body again starts another sleep cycle and we again break that after 5 minutes because we snoozed. Hence, we never wake up fresh and rather we wake up very grumpy. It is scientifically proven that hitting the snooze button is even worse. So what is this sleep cycle? Think of your sleep like a journey your brain has to take every night. Each cycle takes about 90 to 120 minutes each, and we actually repeat the cycle multiple times. The most ideal time to wake up is when our sleep cycle ends. Else, if we wake up in the middle of deep sleep, we often wake up grumpy. Getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep is really important. We all know that, right? But the thing is, to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, we will have to be in bed for even a longer period of time. 8 hours in bed doesn't really mean we slept for 8 hours. This is where our sleep quality comes into play. Firstly, we need to find out how much time our body requires to fall asleep. Luckily for me, at this moment, I require around 15 minutes to fall asleep. So yeah, it simply means that I'll have to go to bed 15 minutes before my usual time in order to achieve my sleep goal, that is. But the thing is that how do we find out that how much time we need to fall asleep? Click this video over here and let's discuss how we can fix our sleep schedule together.